Effects that the body has being at space. One of them are fluid changes. When the body is in microgravity, our blood and all the corporal fluids flow to the upper part of the body due because the heart beats in a different way when it's on microgravity than when it's on Earth. This disturbance in the fluids has a lot of consequences. In one way, increases the pressure in our eyes, increases the intracranial pressure, and changes the cardiovascular activity. The absence of gravity implies that in space it is really difficult to exercise muscles. Some muscle mass and function are lost. Astronauts try to compensate for this by exercising with special clothing, but their muscles still suffer. For the same reason, in addition to the lack of solar radiation, the human body loses calcium in space. As a consequence, a 1% loss of bone mass can be registered each month that they spend in space. However, the loss of muscle mass does not mean that our body does not grow. In fact, we can even grow. The force of gravity that exists on Earth causes our spine to compress from the time we get up in the morning until we go to sleep. Since there is no gravity in space, the spine is not affected, and many astronauts can grow between 2 and 5 centimeters while in space. A curious fact about life in space is that it negatively affects our vision. It is proven that 80% of astronauts with perfect vision return from space affected with myopia, difficulty seeing from afar. The cause is the flattening of the eyeballs and a small swelling of the optic nerves, which could be caused by the effects of microgravity. NASA research showed that upon reaching space, the expression of genes was modified but returned to the original state upon return to Earth. Furthermore, telomeres, the end of chromosomes, were also observed to be longer in astronauts who have been in space. Why will you land on the ground instead of floating off into space? It's because of gravity. Gravity is what pulls everything toward the ground, including you. Without the force of gravity, there will be no life on Earth. Air, water, animals, everything will fly off into space. There will be no you, no me, no food, nothing. Think of gravity like the invisible superglue that holds our world together. You can't see it, but it's always there. What causes an astronaut to float? Astronauts are not floating, they are falling. The astronaut is in a free fall motion towards the Earth but continually hitting it, which causes an orbit. Is there gravity in space? Yes, there are lots of gravity in our space. Without it, everything will shoot off in a straight line and we wouldn't have any solar system or galaxies. However, we have gravity in our space in a very low state. In fact, the proper term is not zero gravity. The correct term is microgravity. Microgravity is an extreme low state of gravity.